Hello students, in this video we are going to discuss about wet granulation and direct compression. Let us define wet granulation. Granules are formed by binding the powder together with an adhesive instead by compaction. So as we discussed in the previous video, we are using the process of compaction for dry granulation, whereas in the case of wet granulation, we use an adhesive for the preparation of granules. It employs a solution or suspension or a slurry containing a binder which is added to the powder mixture. So a solution or a suspension or a slurry of a binder is used for the preparation of granules. Now what is the mechanism of wet granulation? As you can see in this picture, the first step is spraying. We are spraying the binder droplets and the powder particles. Next step is moistening, in which liquid bridge is formed. After that, the third step is solidifying, in which solid bridge is formed. The final step is finished agglomerate, in which a snowball structure is formed. So these are the basically 4 steps in the process of wet granulation. So when the liquid is added to the powder, it causes a thin and immobile film of liquid to form between the particles. This causes an effective decrease in the interparticulate distance and increase in the contact area between the particles. The shortening of the interparticulate distance increases the van der Waals forces of attraction. More liquid is usually added in the wet granulation process to form a mobile liquid film. As a result, there are 3 states that can describe the distribution of liquid between the particles. First state is the pendular state. It is usually at a low moisture level. This is when the particles are held together by lens-shaped rings of liquid, but it is mainly air between the particles. So at this stage, particles are held together by lens-shaped rings of liquids, but air is present between the particles. Second state is funicular state. This is an intermediary state where air starts to displace from the particles. So at this stage, air is getting displaced from the or between the particles. Third state is capillary state. This is when all air has been displaced between the particles. In the capillary state, liquid penetrates the pores of the film and will form a solid bridge between particles, giving the strongest form of adhesion when the liquid evaporates. So at the capillary state, a solid bridge is formed, which is the strongest form of adhesion, and after this the liquid evaporates. 2 or more granules may coalesce to form larger granules, or they may break into fragments that can adhere to the other granules. There can be some mechanical interlocking also between the particles. So this is about the mechanism of wet granulation. First, liquid film is formed, then solid bridges are formed, and then finally granules are prepared. Now these are the steps in the wet granulation process. First, we have to mix the drug and the excipients. Then we have to prepare a binder solution. and then we have to mix that binder solution with the powder mixture to get a wet mass. Then the coarse screening of the wet mass using a suitable sieve or a screen. So this is the main process. The wet mass is screened using a suitable sieve or a screen, and then wet granules are formed which are dried, and then after that dry granules are screened to get granules of uniform sizes. Now the equipments for preparing granules using the wet granulation process. The first type of equipment is the high-speed mixer or granulator. Basically, it is a stainless steel mixing bowl containing a 3-bladed main impeller. So this is the main impeller, which revolves in the horizontal plane, and 3-blade auxiliary chopper which revolve either in the vertical or in the horizontal plane. So this is the chopper. In this case, it is rotating in the vertical direction. So this is the impeller and this is the chopper. This is the ball shape structure. Speed of the main blade is 150 to 300 RPM and speed of the chopper is 1500 to 3000 RPM. So you can see the chopper is rotating at a very high speed. There is a YouTube link. You can watch a video of high speed mixer granulator on this YouTube video link. How does it work? First we take the dry powder which is unmixed. It is placed in the bowl and mixed by rotating the impeller for a few minutes. So we are doing the mixing of the different powder ingredients in the dry form using the rotating impeller. After that, a granulated liquid is then added via a port where the impeller is running. So there is a port at the top of the bowl from where the granular liquid is added, and during this addition of the liquid, the impeller is running. So by this process, the liquid is mixed with the powder by the impeller. So again, the impeller is mixing the liquid with the powder mixture. When a moist mass is formed, the chopper is switched on. So as soon as the moist mass is formed, the chopper is switched on. What does this chopper do? The chopper breaks the wet mass into a bed of granules. This chopper is breaking that wet mass into bed of granules. These granules are then passed through a wire mesh to break the aggregates, if any. So these granules are passed through a wire mesh. In case if some aggregates are present, they also get broken through this mesh. So this was the working of high-speed granulator, and you can watch the video which I have given in the earlier slide. So when you watch the video, the concept will become more clear. So in this process, the powder blending, mixing, wet massing and granulation, all these processes are performed in a single equipment. And this process has to be controlled to avoid formation of unusable overmass system. So we have to control all the parameters so that proper mixing is done, no production of unusable overmassed system is avoided. There is some modification in this high-speed mixture or granulator that is called as Collet-Grell type. You can see the picture. In this type of modification, the impeller as well as the chopper, they both rotate in the horizontal plane. Okay. So there is a 3-blade arms which rotate in the horizontal plane. The others carry small blades which act as a chopper, and it also rotate, but upper region of the granulating mass. It is slightly to the upper side. This is a chopper and this is an impeller. So it is rotating above the granulating mass, and this is called as Collet-Graal type. Second type of equipment for wet granulation process is called as oscillating granulator. The principle of an oscillating granulator is to mechanically pass moist material through a wire mesh screen or plate using a oscillating rotor. So this is the oscillating rotor, and this mass is passed through this wire mesh screen. So this rotor speed and rotation time are variable in the clockwise and the anti-clockwise direction. The rotor bar oscillates between 60 to 100 rpm, and the size of the mesh determines the granule size. So there is a oscillating rotor which rotates in clockwise or counterclockwise direction, and it forces the mass across that wire mesh screen. The mass should be sufficiently moist. If there is an excess moisture, strings will be formed, and it is too dry, no granules will be formed. So this is a YouTube link. You can watch the video, and the concept will become more clear after watching the video. Next important equipment is fluidized bed granulator. You might have studied in the physical pharmaceutics fluidized bed dryer. So the same concept is used, but this is a fluidized bed granulator. Powder particles are fluidized into a stream of air, and granulation fluid is sprayed from a nozzle onto the bed of powder. So by using a high pressure, a high stream of air, particles are fluidized. I mean, particles are in the moving activity. They are in the air, fluidized form, in the stream of air, and the liquid or the binder solution is sprayed from the nozzle on this fluidized particles. Therefore, it is called as fluidized bed granulator. Now, what is the mechanism? A heated and filtered air is blown through the bed of an unmixed powder to fluidize the particle and mix the powder. So by using the air is blown, the unmixed powder get mixed, also the particles get fluidized. Then we take the granulating liquid and it is pumped from a reservoir through a spray nozzle or a multiple nozzle which is positioned over the bed of the particles. Now this granulating liquid causes primary powder particles to adhere when droplets and the powder collide. So when the liquid collide with the fluidized particles, granules are formed due to the adhesion. Now escape of the material is prevented by the exhaust filters, which are agitated to reintroduce the collected material in the fluidized bed. So because of that, air particles do not go outside, but it is prevented by using filters called as exhaust filters, which are agitated again to reintroduce the collected material into the fluidized bed. And the wet granules which are formed are dried in the heated fluidized air stream. So after some time when the granules are formed, we switch off the nozzle which is spraying the liquid, and now with the help of the heated air stream, these granules which are formed are dried. These types of granulators may have capacity of 5 kg to 1500 kg for industries, and from few grams to 1 kg for the laboratory scale. Now advantages are there, like all the granulation process in one equipment. Automation can be achieved. Automation means the process can be made automatic. Computerized systems can be used which can regulate the process efficiently, but it is an expensive process and we have to optimize various variables. Variables means the height of the nozzle, the speed by which it will pump the granulating liquid, the pressure of the air, the temperature. So these are the variables and these have to be optimized. Optimized means they have to be adjusted to get the best type of granules. So this is a time consuming, you can say, or a tidying task to optimize all these variables. These you can say are some of the disadvantages of this fluidized bed granulator. Now you can look at this picture. See, this is a powder bed. This is a nozzle from which the liquid is sprayed. These are the filters. And this is one more picture is there. You can watch the video using this link. This video is very nice. It will explain you in a very clear manner and you will understand the concept very easily by watching this video. See, I have given these videos links again and again because when you will watch the video, the concept will become more clear, crystal clear. I say, watching a picture and watching a video, both are different things. So watch this video for better understanding. Now, there are some modifications in this fluidized bed dryer. One is top spray, in which the liquid is sprayed from the top. One is the bottom spray, in which the liquid is sprayed from the bottom. Other is a tangential spray, in which the liquid is sprayed from the tangential direction, from the side, you can say. Now the advantages and disadvantages of wet granulation process. Advantages: improved flowability, compressibility and cohesiveness of powder, because we are using a binder solution. When binders are used, particles are bonded very strongly. More compressibility, more cohesion, increased flow. It maintains uniform distribution of low dose drugs and water soluble dyes. Now, very important point, that is, if you are using low dose drug or water soluble dyes, as binder solution is used, so the distribution is very uniform. Improved dissolution behavior of hydrophobic drugs. Some of the drugs are hydrophobic, and if we can use a hydrophilic diluent or hydrophilic binder, in this way we can increase their dissolution behavior. Good content uniformity due to prevention of particle segregation. Particles are not segregated in wet granulation, so that there is a good content uniformity. Each process has advantages, also has disadvantages. It is an expensive process because of labor, time, equipment, energy and space requirement, because we require so many equipments: drying equipment, wet massing, screening. High energy is required, high labor is required, time consuming process, you can say. As there is various stages, there can be loss of materials during the processing, and it is not suitable for moisture sensitive and thermolabile drugs. It is not suitable. So complex process, multiple processing steps are there. This was all about wet granulation. Next method is direct compression. So in the earlier part I have discussed about wet granulation. This is something different. Direct compression is a process in which tablets are compressed directly from the powder blend of the active ingredient and the excipients, including the diluent, disintegrant, etc. So in this process we are not using the granulation process. We are just compressing the mixture of the API and the other ingredients directly into the compression. So no pretreatment is required in the dry or wet type. Some solids can be compressed directly, like sodium chloride and potassium chloride. In case if the drug cannot be compressed directly, we can use directly compressible diluents like calcium phosphate tribasic, trichophos, microcrystalline cellulose, MCC or Avicel, pre-gelatinized starch, also called as Pharmagel or Pregel. So those students who are preparing for GPAT, they should remember these names and their synonyms so that these type of questions are generally asked. So if the drug is not easily compressible, we can use directly compressible diluents, and these are some of the examples. So we are taking the drug, grinding, blending, mixing, and directly compressing into tablets. No granulation. Grinding, mixing, and directly compression. Now the advantages and disadvantages of direct compression. First is they have decreased processing time, lower cost, fewer manufacturing steps. Very few steps are there, low cost, low time, efficient, economical, elimination of heat and moisture. Again, we can use for moisture sensitive and thermolabile drugs. And the important point is the tablet disintegrate into particles rather than granules. So increased surface area, faster dissolution. In the earlier cases, when we are using the granulation process, particles or the tablets will disintegrate into granules. But in this case, tablets get disintegrated into particles, small particles, higher surface area, faster dissolution. Now, disadvantages. High dose drugs with poor compressibility may cause problem. So drugs which are poorly compressible and have high dose, they can cause some problems. Many API are not compressible, either they are amorphous or crystalline, so they are not compressible. Unblending may occur because of the difference in size or density. Unblending means demixing or segregation can occur between particles of different size and density. So this is the disadvantage. Lack of moisture may give rise to static charge and cause segregation of particles. Dry process is there, different size, different density. Lack of moisture may cause static charges, and these static charges will cause repulsion and they may cause segregation of the particles. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of direct compression process. So by this we finish the granulation and direct compression. Thank you so much.